I don't know. Does it sound like vibe coding? Would you call it vibe coding?
Something like more than half the people who use OpenAI already think that they're generating ads and showing ads.
It's not that easy to sell into Fortune 100s.
No.
One of the things you and I've chatted about before is that, like, large or small, a lot of the challenges are the same, right? Like data challenges, data hygiene, things like that. Are you finding that to be true? Like, as you work with like mid-market companies, do they have the same types of data challenges that, banks that we're used to have? With all of us are used to banks in some way.
Absolutely. I think the challenge is sometimes it's just a matter of knowing how to work with growing data sets. So, but generally there's also data quality issues, and then the idea of having to blend different, disparate sources of data. I think any growing company at some point, they all started using Excel in the beginning. And then if they're successful enough, Excel becomes a choke point for their operations. It's not really a data warehouse.
Right.
And are you finding that a lot of these companies are sort of running their business on Excel and small databases, where a larger company might have dedicated application databases and things like that?
100%. Yeah. That's how it goes. And, we were working on a opportunity it was a private equity backed collection of fertility clinics, and essentially at the top, it's a roll up. So at the top company, the finance team had to just keep fighting with the data in Microsoft Excel, and just adding more and more finance people to do. And it's not work that anyone wants to do.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Longing data in Excel. So
no. And the problem I see, we've seen this at large companies, is a lot of times the finance organization, that is, to your point, that's where all the data comes together. That's where the flaws that are inherent in the data start to show up. And so before they can, close the books or whatever they're doing, they have to remediate those data issues. But the problem is they'll spend a lot of time doing that grunt work that no one wants to do. At the end of the day, now you've got the finance view of the world with the data that they cleaned up, and you've got the data that's still sitting in the original spreadsheets or applications.
There's never a source of truth anyplace.
Everybody's
got their own source of truth. Those words out.
Yeah.
So you have these arguments about what really happened.
Right, exactly. So it sounds like it's a lot of the same problems that we used to see on the enterprise scale, just maybe smaller scale. Do you think mid-sized companies, though, have less data? Or how would you describe that? Like, I could see an argument where they maybe have fewer copies of the data, but do they actually have like smaller volumes?
I think, when you're talking about, say, an alternative lender, they're going to have a certain amount of data, and then versus a credit card issuer with 25 million cardholders and 3 years of transactions,
which is a lot of data.
So for sure, but I think, when you don't solve that data management problem and that single source of truth problem, then it becomes the limiter of the overall growth of the business. Because they get to that point where it's too big for what they can handle, and they start having service delivery failures and other problems.
So walk me through just a small organization brings you in the door and says, Erik, we're throwing our hands up in the air. Please help us. What do we do next? We have all this spreadsheet information all over the place, and they don't have any relational databases in place, have nothing there. Like, what do you do? How do you get them on board that this has to be done so they can continue to grow and manage all this information much more effectively?
Right. So, that's one of the main things, is they need to really want it, because organizations will put up with that pain for a long, long time.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. But when they see that, this is the limiting, factor of our whole company and our ability to double, triple, then it starts to make sense to make those investments. And so for the way I like to start is to see what kind of reports, say, the finance team is using, since they're usually the ones paying us, and, understand what they're doing and understand what are the raw data feeds coming in. And so there's that middle part where they're munging up the data and preparing it. And that's really what we would pull into the relational database.
Okay. So if you can streamline that piece and sort of clarify, rationalize all that data manipulation going on, then you sort of, I guess, get to unlock more value. Are you seeing these companies, is AI becoming a driver for them to want to finally tackle some of these data problems, or haven't they made that connection yet between cause and effect?
Yeah, I don't think they see that idea that if they could use AI on their internal data,
Right.
the opportunities to really optimize. I'm not seeing that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we see a lot of the same thing. People are like,
Right.
well, why is my AI initiative struggling? Why can't I come up with something really unique and different to do? And yet they haven't been able to get their hands on enough high quality data of their own to actually train an AI model or create an AI
Right.
solution that's tailored to their specific business. Thanks for watching Call Me Data. If you enjoyed our podcast, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube, and make sure to stay up to date with us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.